Welcome to the Tony Scott Internet Show for Monday. It is Monday up in here. Hope your weekend went great. Went great for the Rams. Rams beat the Super Bowl champion. When was the last time the Rams beat a Super Bowl champion? But they beat them 28-26. Rams with a couple of trick plays, a fake punt. And before that, this punt return that had like everybody and their mama fooled. Even the cameraman. Apparently they knew something about the punter for the Seattle Seahawks, that he punts to one side like almost all the time, but this one time, I don't know, you'd have to see it. It was crazy because everybody got faked out. Everybody got faked out. But in the end, the Rams win against the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. Final score there was 28-26. There was a couple of people that got arrested at the Edward Jones Dome after the Rams win. A couple of protesters that were protesting the murder of Michael Brown by a police officer. There were about 20 protesters there, but a fan leaving the game allegedly stole an American flag that was upside down. That's been like lately part of the protests. Apparently he took exception. He took the flag, and punches were thrown. You're not going to win that battle, man. You know, you got to go in knowing if you're going to disrespect the flag, and if there's anything bad off of that, you ain't going to win that one. That one, you're going to lose that one each and every time. I'm just being honest with you, man. The New York Times put an article out. I don't know if it was like Friday or Saturday or something, but in it says that according to forensic tests, Michael Brown's blood was found on the gun and the uniform and the cop car of Darren Wilson. Now, Darren Wilson has told investigators, this was apparently was leaked information from the grand jury. He told investigators he was trying to leave his car when Michael Brown shoved him back in. This is according to New York Times. Once in, Michael Brown allegedly pinned him in the car and tried to get his gun, which made him fear for his safety. Remember that. Unnamed government officials are saying that are familiar with the civil rights case. The federal version of it are saying this, that Darren Wilson told authorities that Michael Brown hit him and scratched him repeatedly, leaving bruises on his face and neck. FBI forensic tests showed the gun was fired twice in the car, with one bullet actually hitting Michael Brown's arm, while the second one missed. All right. Now, we found out in the O.J. case 20 years ago that police do plant blood evidence. They never were able to explain why O.J.'s blood was on that back gate that had, I forget the name of it, but it had some kind of chemical in it that's only in the vials that they put blood in so that it won't be compromised. So how did O.J.'s blood with that chemical on it get on that back fence, that back gate? No one's ever been able to explain that. It's because the police planted the evidence. This is what people are thinking in this case. See, the police in this situation have mucked this up all to be damned. They really have. Because there's no way that anybody's going to believe anything they say, the police. Now, everybody was saying on social media over the weekend that Darren Wilson's not going to get, indicted. It's not going to happen. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it, does it? But, if Darren Wilson, and I told you to remember that little nugget I told you about, it feared for his safety, as he says he did, then why did Darren Wilson pursue Michael Brown if he was scared of him? When was the last time somebody went after somebody and they were scared of that person they were going after? I've never heard of that happening before. If Darren Wilson was so scared of Michael Brown, why did he go after Michael Brown without backup once they left the car? We will never know what happened in that car. All right? Because all we have is Darren Wilson's version, and nobody is buying anything he's selling. That's just the fact. And everybody says that Michael Brown had his hands up in the universal way of I give up. One person that came out last week says, well, they weren't all the way up. Whatever. But I don't understand how you go at, you're a police officer and you fear for your life, and yet you chase somebody who's getting away. But you fear that person, and you have no backup. That right there tells me that whatever happened in that car, Darren Wilson lost perspective. Darren Wilson lost his training. Darren Wilson lost it and was determined to take Michael Brown down. That's what that tells me. It was no longer a police officer against a quote-unquote suspect. At this point, it was mano a mano, and one mano didn't have a gun, didn't have a weapon. So you hunted him down in the street and shot him, and then the rest, as we know, the police let that man lay there for 4 hours. Now, we have to be careful when we talk about Darren Wilson supporters. Careful in the sense that we don't want to make up anything like Darren Wilson supporters have. You know, there was word going around that was Saturday was Walmart gave money to the Darren Wilson supporter organization. Yesterday, it was Sam's Club. I know they're connected. They're owned by the same people, but yesterday was Sam's Club and not Walmart. I've yet to find anything that actually points to that actually being true as of this recording, as of this show. But as far as I know, that's not the case. And if it's not the case, we have to quit putting out false information. And it's easy for you to say, well, that's what they're doing. Well, but we're better than that. We're better than that. We have the truth on our side. And yes, I'm saying that I've said this before. Darren Wilson murdered Michael Brown. Make no mistake. He shot him. He shot him with the intent of killing him. He says he feared for his life. Then it doesn't make sense that you would go after him without backup. You have the resources of an entire police department. Why would you go after somebody you're scared of without backup? Because you knew you were going to kill him. That's why. That's why. So the latest on the Ebola situation is the nurse, was it the first nurse who contracted Ebola, actually issued a statement over the weekend saying she was okay. The video's on YouTube, and I'll link you to it. You just go to talking360.com and click on the news page, and you'll see the video and hear a couple of words from her. She didn't talk a lot, but she did say she loved everybody, so that was kind of nice. Nice enough she even has the strength to talk because that Ebola. But you know what? There are people now who are faking Ebola so they can get faster medical treatment. Did you hear about this in Columbus, Ohio? A woman got a call. Authorities in Columbus, Ohio got a call Thursday night around 9 o'clock claiming a local woman was suffering from Ebola-like symptoms. So here we go. Hazmat crews were sent to her house. They took her to Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center isolation unit where they discovered it was all a fake. The woman did not exhibit Ebola symptoms. She had not traveled to West Africa like she had claimed. The woman devised the story because she, quote, simply wanted faster treatment for a different illness. So you send her a bill. You send her a bill, and if she don't pay it, then you sue her. Wow, what makes you think that was cool to do? You want quick medical treatment, so you're going to fake the fact that you have Ebola. I bet she regretted it when the hazmat team pulled up. She peeked out that window. I bet she regretted what she said. She should have just stopped right there. She should have just said, you know what? I don't have Ebola. I was just trying to get quick service and let it go. But no, she let them take her to the isolation unit at the hospital. all these protocols that fell into place, you know, and then she doesn't have it because she said it because she wanted faster medical treatment. She needs to be charged. She needs to be arrested. She needs to be billed. I mean, that's stupid. That's beyond stupid. That makes no damn sense at all. Why would you do something like that? That is crazy. People. Come on, man. Y'all better than this. Then again, maybe you're not. I don't. Doesn't appear to be, huh? The president got his credit card rejected. Did you hear about this? I'll tell you about that and why you should not have sex in the ocean. And I'll do all that in 30 seconds on the Tony Scott Internet Show.
Do you want to reach an audience that you haven't tapped into yet and not blow your budget? The Tony Scott Internet Show is new, growing, and available to you. Advertising on the Tony Scott Internet Show is extremely affordable. Contact us at advertise@TonyScottShow.com.
Bass! Welcome back to the Tony Scott Internet Show, Monday edition, and if you need to catch up on some past episodes of the podcast, you can go to Talking360.com. You'll see TSIS, Tony Scott Internet Show. Just click that, and you'll see, I think this is number 20. I believe this is our 20th show, something like that. I have to double check that and get back to you on that, but as I understand it, that's the story there. So President Obama had his credit card rejected on date night with Michelle Obama, the First Lady. He says he was in a restaurant in New York during the UN General Assembly, and his credit card, well, it got rejected. The president mentioned this as he was signing into legislation, an executive order, to tighten security on debit and credit cards that transmit federal benefits, and his credit card, unfortunately, got the gas face.
I was trying to explain to the waitress, no, I really think that I've been paying my bill. It turned out, I guess, I don't use it enough. So they thought there was some fraud going on.
Cute story. Good story. You know, some people... So then this is the thing that... I mean, I love President Obama, but people get offended by that. Why they got to do that story? Why they got to show his credit card? His credit card got rejected because he hadn't used it. It's happened to my mom. Never happened to me, but it's happened to my mom. That you don't use your credit card after a while. That, you know, there's a pattern of that. So when it gets used, it raises a flag. My credit card, I always use it for, like, you know, $4 or $5, $10, $20. You know, a meal for the family, stuff like that. But if I go out to buy like something that costs like, you know, $500, it'll get declined. And then I got to call the bank and they say, well, you haven't really used it for that much at one time. And then you jump through a couple of hoops and then they release it and then you're good to go. So don't be mad because the president's credit card got declined, but it didn't get declined. You know, like our world. And the First Lady's credit card is working fine, so it's all love. Hey, don't go around having sex in the ocean, all right? Just because you're on vacation and you feel like whatever happens here stays here. No, don't do that, man. You know? First of all, water is not a good lubricant. Second of all, you know, a little salty. You know what I'm saying? You know, fish swim in there and they pee in there and everything, right? You do know that, right? There's no chlorine in the ocean water, right? So, but even bigger than that, there's a great chance that your genitals are going to get stuck together because of suction. Huh? This Italian couple were looking to spice up their love life, so they started having sex in the ocean, and they got suctioned together, and they couldn't separate. So they had to stay in the ocean until he was able to flag down a woman walking on the beach who was able to get them a towel to cover up. You know? Apparently that's a real thing. That because of all the things that are in ocean water, it's very possible you can get stuck together. Suctioned together. See? Man, come on, man. That ain't no joke. You don't have sex in the ocean. I've never even tried that. I don't know. No, I don't know a woman who would, you know, not saying that if you have, you're nasty. I'm not saying that, but I know my wife would never go for anything like that because, you know, that water is not clean. But, I mean, if you do it, have fun. I mean, you know, it's your body. You know your body. So, but understand that in some cases, you two get stuck together. I don't know how they got them apart. Does the article say how they got them apart? Let me see. Because I just had it in some notes and stuff. I don't know if they actually like. No, it doesn't say how they got them apart, but they did. And life moves on. A bus driver for a national car rental company got suspended because she took a selfie with Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart pleaded to get her job back, get her suspension lifted.
Hey, this message is from National Rental Car. It's been brought to my attention that Kenesha Douglas has been suspended for taking a selfie with me. I'm asking National to please give this woman a pass. I love National. And if I'd have seen me, I would have took a selfie with me too. Come on, have some compassion.
I guess they were listening because I think her suspension was lifted and she got her job back. I guess that's the thing, though, like in L.A., where all the stars are, or maybe even New York, maybe Atlanta, too. There's a lot of that's considered a celebrity-filled town, but that, they get that so much that employers probably tell their employees don't be asking celebrities for selfies because it probably happens too much. I don't know. Should she have been suspended? No. What do you do, though? If you break the rule, that's got to be like you get docked an hour's pay, or I don't know. But, I mean, I can see where you would want to curb that because it probably happens too much. And celebrities probably saying, don't use National because they hassle you with selfies and all that. Use someone else. Maybe there's a business opportunity there for someone. Have a car rental place for celebrities. Maybe there's already a business like that. But maybe you can do it better. So what are you going to be for Halloween this year? Halloween's in a couple of weeks, and one of the things that's got everybody talking is an Ebola costume that you can actually buy. You can also buy a hazmat suit if you want to, a costume, and wear that, which I think both of those, especially if you're going to dress up like an Ebola victim, and you can actually buy something that helps you get that look, I think that that's in bad taste, man. That's really bad. And I bet you wouldn't wear it if you knew somebody who had Ebola. I mean, that's just too close. I mean, I don't. But you know what? We're as a society, we're like that now. We don't really care much about other people's predicaments or things are too soon or too sensitive. We don't care about that anymore. We don't care about that anymore. If it's funny, it's funny, right? Anything goes. That's where we are now as a society, which I think is kind of sad. I mean, because if my daughter, even my 30-year-old daughter, was to say she went to a Halloween party dressed as an Ebola victim, I would be really upset at her. I mean, I would. I just think that's over the line. I think it's over the line. How come nobody dresses like an AIDS patient? I'm just saying. Is there an AIDS patient costume you can buy? If so, I think that's just as horrible. You know what else is pretty terrible is the president of the Russian Tennis Federation, Shamil Tarpishchev, has been fined and suspended for calling the Williams sisters, Serena and Venus, the Williams brothers, and he called their looks, quote, frightening. He was on the Russian late-night show Evening, I can't even say the name of it, but he was on there with a former World Tennis Association player, and when the player was asked what it was like to play against the Williams sisters, this Shamil guy jumped in and referred to them as the Williams brothers. After a back and forth with the show host and the former tennis player, who did not laugh at the comment, he continued, "It's frightening when you look at them, but you really just need to play against the ball." So he's been suspended for a year and fined $25,000. Here's Serena from CNN.
I think the WTA did a really great job of taking initiative and immediately taking action to his comments. I thought his comments were very insensitive. I thought they were extremely sexist as well as racist at the same time, and I thought they were, in a way, bullying. I've done the best that I could do, and that's all I could say. So I just wasn't very happy with his comments, and I think a lot of people weren't happy as well. But the WTA and the USTA, they did a wonderful job of, making sure that you at this day of age in 2014, as someone with his power, it's really unacceptable and to make such insensitive bullying remarks.
You tell them, Serena, son of a. Hey, I saw a study where it says, like, the more you spend on an engagement ring, the better your chance of getting divorced, and the more you spend on the entire ceremony, everything. For example, couples who spend over $20,000 on a wedding ceremony and a reception are 3.5 times more likely to divorce. Well, why? Probably Why? Because you got to pay. Somebody got to pay the bill. Who's gonna pay the bill? I remember getting in a debate with someone who says that I had said that I will not pay if my daughter lives with a man and then they decide to get married, and you know how the bride's parents are supposed to pay. I'm not paying for the wedding. I'm not going to pay for the wedding. I'm not going to pay for the wedding. If my daughter lives with a man and they decide to get married, I'm not giving them a dime. Well, I'll be fair. I might give them some money toward it, but I'm not toting the whole thing. No, I'm not going to do that. It's tradition. Tradition. If we're going back to tradition, then traditionally, y'all shouldn't be living together before you get married anyway. I mean, really, if you want to go back, to that, I mean, that's tradition. It's tradition not to have sex until after you get married. Don't see that one. No one's calling that one out, are they? Not to my knowledge. So you can't throw the it's tradition for the bride's parents to pay for the wedding. No, hell no. You go shop that one somewhere else, Junior, because that dog don't hunt with me. I just don't see it. Now, I'll help, but toting the whole thing, nah, that's not gonna happen. Nah, that's all right. Nah. It just doesn't make any sense to do something like that. But the more you spend on the rock and the more you spend on the wedding and the ceremony, the reception, things like that, the higher the chance that your marriage is not going to last. What do you think about, booking the Empire State Building now for a reception, huh? And finally, let's go to where else? Florida, where a 19-year-old named Sean Johnson was roaming the aisles, and he finally decided he saw what he wanted, a brown stuffed horse. So did he pick it up and try and steal it? No. Did he try and shove it into another bag and shoplift it? No. Did he run for the door? No. He started humping it. And yeah, it happened. He wrapped it in a comforter, took it to another aisle. An employee saw the whole thing, called the cops. Dude was across the street from the Walmart when they got him. He's charged with indecent exposure because, I mean, he didn't just hump it. He pulled his shenanigan out, and then he started going for it. What the hell is wrong with people? If you go to What the What on the Talking360.com website, we'll put his mugshot up, and you can just see how you got your picture on the internet, man. I bet your family is so proud. Probably comes from one of those families. Well, it was a harmless prank. Come on, it was a harmless prank. Who got hurt? Who got hurt in that? We'll pay for the horse. We'll pay for the comforter, but you can expunge his record. I don't know. I think he'd have, I'm all for expunging his record because he's 19. All right, everybody's entitled to a mistake, okay? I need to know what else he's done in the past, if he's done anything in the past. But there's a lot of things that I need to know, though. I want to know why he did that. I mean, because maybe there's something wrong with him for real. And if there is, we need to get him some help. But I'm not willing to just say, it's just a prank, let him go. I'm not willing to do that. No. I mean, the article I read didn't say it, but maybe there were kids around, or maybe people were offended. I mean, it is indecent exposure. And he did ejaculate. So, I mean, he's got to go. He's got to pay the price. He's got to pay the price. Right? Wow. I would never have the nerve to even think of doing something like that. It would never occur to me to even think about doing that. Just makes no sense to me at all. What's the matter with people, man? That's right. What's the matter? Not mad. What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter with people? I don't get that at all, man. I'm not buying any stuffed animals from any Walmart ever again. It's just not going to happen. Not that I've ever bought any stuffed animals. Do people buy stuffed animals? I guess they do. They sell them. So, no. Nothing here, Junior. Not today. All right, we'll leave it right here because we're headed towards 30 minutes, and I didn't want to go much further than that. I appreciate you listening, and if you could do me a favor and share this with other people, post it on your social media sites, that would help get the word out. I really appreciate you so much for doing that. I've run, I think I said this is like our 20th show, and your generosity of taking the time to do that means so much to me, so I really appreciate it. All right, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.